ISKCON founder Acharya served the whole world. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Gaura ki jai. Lakshmi Narasimha Swamy ki jai. Radha Govind ki jai. Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Reading from Prabhupada's Leela Amrita. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods. This is the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Lord Krishna when he was questioned by Uddhava regarding the 4 social and spiritual orders of the society. He was specifically instructing how a brahmachari should behave under the care of a spiritual master. A spiritual master is not an enjoyer of facilities offered by his disciples. He is like a parent. Without the attentive service of his parents, a child cannot grow to manhood. Similarly, without the care of the spiritual master, one cannot rise to the plane of transcendental service. The spiritual master is also called Acharya or a transcendental professor of spiritual science. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23 and Text 54. Indriya Addeshu Sajjantya Indriya Addeshu Sadyantya Prasangaha Tvayi Me Krutaha Prasangastvaya Me Krutaha Ajanantya Parambhavam Ajanantya Parambhavam Tata Api Astu Abhayaya Me Tatapi Astu Abhayaya Me Indriyadeshu Sadyantya Prasangastvaya Me Krutaha Ajanantya Parambhavam Tatapyastu Abhayaya Me Indriyadeshu Sadyantya Parambhavam Indriyadeshu Parambhavam. Indriya Addeshu, to sense gratification. Sadhyantya, being attached. Prasangaha, affinity. Tvayi, for you. Me, by me. Krutaha, was done. Ajanantya, not knowing Param Bhavam, your transcendent situation, Tatha Api, nonetheless, Astu, let it be, Abhayaya, for fearlessness, may my translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: not knowing your transcendental situation, I have loved you while remaining attached to the objects of the senses. Nonetheless, let the affinity I have developed for you rid me of all fear. Please repeat. Not knowing your transcendental situation, I have loved you while remaining attached to the objects of the senses. Nonetheless, let the affinity I have developed for you rid me of all fear. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Devahuti is lamenting her position. As a woman, she had to love someone. Somehow or other, she came to love Kaddama Muni, but without knowing of his spiritual advancement. Kaddama Muni could understand Devahuti's heart. Generally, all women desire material enjoyment. They are called less intelligent because they are mostly prone to material enjoyment. Devahuti laments because her husband had given her the best kind of material enjoyment, but she did not know that he was so advanced in spiritual realization. Her plea was that even though she did not know the glories of her great husband, because she had taken shelter of him, she must be delivered from material entanglement. Association with a great personality is most important of a great saintly person is very important, because even if one is not advanced in knowledge, simply by association with a great saintly person, one can immediately make considerable advancement in spiritual life. As a woman, as an ordinary wife, Devahuti became attached to Kaddam Muni in order to satisfy her sense enjoyment and other material necessities. But actually, she associated with a great personality. Now she understood this and she wanted to utilize the advantage of the association of a great husband. Dasanstha Bhaktivedanta Parpoto Madhyanatimiraan Dasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Bhashyat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Prabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In many occasions, Prabhupada used to explain about his first meeting with his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He used to explain how Prabhupada used to have one very good friend by name Naren Mullik. And when Naren Mullik was in his house, one sadhu came from Gaudiya. His name was Tirthapad. And then, because these Mulliks are very rich people, so that sadhu is a brahmachari, he came to knock the door. And then he told, that our spiritual master has come to the city, and he invited the family, Naren Mullik and his family, to come and see Bhakti Siddhanta. So then Naren Mullik, because Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada was those days Abhay, a very close friend, he said, why don't you come, we'll go together. This is how the friendship works. They don't want to go alone. And then Abhay was actually the most intelligent in that friend circle. And if Abhay says yes, we should go, means everybody will go. So Prabhupada was leader from the beginning. So he used to lead even his friends. So then when he came and asked Prabhupada, so he said, no, I have seen so many sadhus, there is no use. No, I will not come, you go away. And then Prabhupada explains how Naren Mullik, he has forced him. He literally dragged him, no, you should come. He is a different sadhu. There is a place called Ultadanga in Calcutta. There is a Gaudiya Math there. So he said, I heard he is a very different sadhu, why don't you come? So because he is a close friend, Prabhupada said, okay. That's how they both go together. And when they went to Gaudiya Math, they got a very premium treatment, because after all he is from a Naren Mullik is from a invited family. So they were taken care nicely. And Bhaktisiddhanta was there on the terrace of the building. And he is explaining, he is giving some instructions. And these two young men, they reached the terrace, and then because they have a culture, Abhay is from a very cultured family. The Mulliks are also very cultured. So they know how to respect a sadhu like Bhaktisiddhanta. And when Prabhupada saw him, he is a tall, effulgent sadhu sitting on a Vyasasana, and he is strongly giving the instructions, explaining about the devotional service. So they immediately paid obeisances, and as soon as they are getting up, immediately Bhaktisiddhanta gives the first instruction. He says, why don't you preach Lord Chaitanya's message all over the world? You are all educated young men. Now immediately Prabhupada had a question. India at that time was a dependent country. So he said, we are dependent already. We have no independence yet. So when you go out and preach, who will listen to your message? Actually nobody cares dependent countries. Particularly you have to go, if you go to Britain, let us say, they'll say, they're all our own slaves. Who will listen to the... So this is the question Prabhupada has asked. But immediately Bhaktisiddhanta has defeated Abhay, and then convinced him that this message cannot wait for any circumstances, so-called favorable circumstances. He convinced Abhay that this message is more powerful than the circumstances. So under any circumstance, this powerful message can be distributed all over the world. So Prabhupada says that particular meeting has gave him tremendous impression about Bhaktisiddhanta. In fact, in his mind is always used to think, I have met such a nice sadhu. And then when they came out, Naren Mullik asked him, what do you think? He says, he's a real sadhu. And Lord Chaitanya's message is in his hands, and now it will reach all over the world. This is his first reading of Bhakti Srila Prabhupada on Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So, from a historical point of view or from a mundane point of view, okay, one young man meeting one sadhu, and then sadhu saying something, and then both the young men, they come out of the thing and from the roof, and then, okay, what is that? How is it that that can be a significant event? It looks like an ordinary thing. But actually, that particular meeting has brought in a seed for a revolution in the consciousness of the planet. Prabhupada, because he got that impression, he took it very seriously. Now this is very important. Seriousness about Krishna consciousness comes only by sadhu sangha. And if those instructions are running in the mind always, yes, how I can serve such a nice saintly person I came across. How can I serve him? How can I satisfy him? If this is the kind of thinking, then that devotee becomes extremely fortunate. The fortune comes by this sadhu sangha. He becomes very serious about service to Krishna. This is the result of sadhu sangha. One becomes very serious. So much so that he is willing to even give up comfortable material positions and dedicate himself for service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is not an ordinary change. It is extremely difficult to give up our attachment to the material opulence, material objects and material enjoyment. Not ordinary. But then how is it that they are able to, in the history of, in the Bhagavatams, we can see there are so many completely attached to material enjoyment, but when they come in contact with the sadhus, sadhu sangha, immediately we see there is a big transformation in him. Now this is the beauty of this, the power of sadhu sangha. There's so much glorification is there in the Prabhupada's teachings. Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everywhere we see the glories of sadhu sangha associating with a pure devotee. So, Prabhupada used to always fondly recollect his first association with Bhakti Siddhanta. A very short thing it is. Few minutes they were there and came out, and there was a tremendous impression in the heart of Abhay, Prabhupada, and then you can see throughout his life, continuously he was contemplating. How can I implement my Guru's order? Guru gave an order, Lord Chaitanya's message should reach every corner of this world. The circumstances, if you see, India was a dependent country, poverty-stricken, dependent on other nations, and then Abhay was in such a situation, everything looked very difficult. Everything looked impossible. So, this is Maya. Maya always makes these obstacles look very big. This is Maya. Even in Krishna consciousness, in the service of the Supreme Lord, the things will appear very, very difficult sometimes. That is because we have given so much value to this Maya. If you are contemplating only on the current circumstance, my issues, my challenges, my worries, my, And then as you go on thinking about it, then obviously you will be convinced that yes, I think I will not be able to do this or do that. Here Prabhupada is not contemplating on all those circumstances. He is contemplating on Guru's order. What is the content in his brain? He is thinking, how can I execute my spiritual master's order? Till the last moment he is thinking, how can I execute? Even when he was in the final pastime, glorious pastime, just few days before also, he is still translating Srimad Bhagavatam because my Guru has told me to publish books and distribute books. Can you believe? Till the last moment, he is driven by the instructions of the spiritual master. This is the power of the sadhu sangha. For a disciple, Guru's instructions, they are the soul, that is the spirit in his heart. Continuously, what drives his body, what drives his mind is those instructions of the spiritual master. Like if the spirit soul leaves the body, we call that body as a dead body. So similarly, if the Guru's instructions leave our heart, leave our mind, then he is a dead disciple, he is finished. So, continuously taking association of Prabhupada is the secret. Jai Radha Govinda. That is the secret to reaching the shelter of Radha Govinda. So here it is explained about Devahuti. She also came to a shelter of a pure devotee, but she didn't know the exalted position of Kaddama. She treated him with a different kind of a relationship as a husband and wife, but she doesn't know the spiritual position of the husband. So instead of seeking spiritual advancement, she sought the regular relation between a husband and wife. Now she is lamenting that I simply wasted my time. You can see in the last verse it is said, simply I have wasted my time. So much time is wasted. Etha vata alam kalena vitikrantena. I have wasted a lot of time pursuing a regular material relationship, but I forgot about the exalted opportunity that is there. And so she is now seeking abhayayame, fearlessness, that whatever I have come to your shelter, so please bless me so that I can develop abhaya, abhayaya. So this is possible only by sadhu sangha. Mind is like that, continuously it creates fear. Is it possible for me? Can I progress? Is it easy? What will happen in the future? What is my situation? Will my health be okay? Will it be permitting? So many things mind will be calculating. And then if you get tuned to depend on such a mind, if you get used, accommodated to, accustomed to hearing, these minds, the chatter, the mind's sounds, then we become convinced that yes, it's not easy, very, very fearful it is. But actually, if you take the sadhu sangha, the devotees association, in one sentence, he can cut through the illusions which are building up in our heart. This is the power. And it is said in the Shastra, Lavamatrena. Even a fraction of a second, if somebody has an association with a pure devotee, even that will change his life. Anybody who came in touch with Srila Prabhupada, even from a distance, a little glimpse, sometime back one donor, he lives in Hyderabad only, so he was mentioning, somewhere in the childhood he saw Prabhupada once, and they saw how the parents, everybody's taking some association and all that, and he doesn't know anything, and then but he remembers how Prabhupada has kind of blessed him on his head, and then even today he has that impression in his heart. And then when our devotees went for some donation, he is very glad to help. So a pure devotee is capable of infusing that impression in the prospective devotee, and whatever he says or does, it plants a seed in the heart of such a conditioned soul. And if he is fortunate, he cultivates that seed further, he becomes more and more advanced. And as long as that seed is there in the heart, Krishna gives him opportunity. He brings him again and again to Krishna consciousness. That's the power of that seed. So once you come in contact with a pure devotee, you cannot give up on Krishna. The journey has begun. And once you have come to Krishna, Krishna will not leave you. Even if somebody wants to leave, they will not be able to leave, because Krishna again and again brings him back. He remembers the taste that he got. It could be prasadam, it could be sankirtan, or it could be whatever. That conditioned soul remembers, because there is no comparison to that experience. There is no comparison to that impression that he got in his heart. And then even if somebody looks beyond, look outside for such impressions and some experiences, he will not be able to. He may do Brahmanda Brahmite, go up and down all over the universe in search of that sublime happiness that he felt, he will not be able to. Because it is not available anywhere. So this is the beauty of this sadhu sangha. If we are not feeling very inspired by our services, or if we are feeling that there are too many obstacles for my service, or there are too many challenges in my life, that means you are not having sufficient sadhu sangha. Every day reading 1 hour of Prabhupada books, nicely applying your mind to understand the nitty-gritty of the points that Prabhupada is explaining. If somebody is not doing this sadhu sangha, then obviously everything becomes a burden. Prabhupada says, I am giving you this beautiful deity worship, and you are all nicely serving. But if you don't hear on a regular basis, if you don't hear these transcendental vibrations on a regular basis, then what will happen? This deity worship will become galagraha. Galagraha means, what did my spiritual master give me? He gave me a burden around my neck. One will feel everything as a burdensome if we don't listen to, or if you don't study what Prabhupada has given, the biggest wealth, that is his own association. Prabhupada has given his association in the form of these transcendental books, and one should be very eager to read and associate with Prabhupada. And then with that fire, one should do services. If one can somehow please the pure devotee, automatically all these issues and this and that, they'll all become a very easy journey. How is it done? The Shastra says it is like a crossing a small pool of water created by a calf. During rainy season only, when the calf is walking, on the earth, it will make some impression, small this thing, and you see little pool of water is there. How much endeavor it takes for you to cross such a small pool of water? No. But then, if you don't hear Prabhupada, if you don't have that taste for all this association of the devotees, then that same small pool, as something is there, that will appear like an ocean. Now this is the difficulty. Mind is like that. What is actually in front of us is only a small pool of water created by the calf while walking on a muddy floor. But that looks like a big ocean, and then devotee becomes very. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, the process of purification, the process of advancement in this age is Sankirtana. Sankirtana means Bahubir Militva. Many people should come together and do chanting. We can chant anywhere, but if you can chant with the devotees, that is called Sankirtan. You can eat prasadam anytime, but if you eat, honor prasadam along with the Vaishnavas in the morning, at least in the morning, because other times we are all busy with our own service, that is Sankirtan. Devotees should have a taste for coming together in order to glorify Krishna. This is Sankirtan. But mind is always creating, no, I can manage anywhere, I can chant anywhere, I can go, I can eat anything or anywhere. Yes, those opportunities are there. For outsiders it is not there, that opportunity, but yes, for us, yes, anytime we can do. But if you want to magnify the impact, then it is in the association. For example, this class is there. You can say, no, I can hear anywhere. First of all, whether one hears afterwards, that's a question. And if he thinks that, yes, I can hear anywhere, what is the use of coming to the temple hall and then sitting and hearing? Then it is not, he has not understood the basic principles of advancement in this age. One has to be together. So then the power of your chanting, power of honoring prasad, power of services, everything will be multiplied. So Prabhupada, he has given his personal experiences in the form of his purports. That is his experience. And then when we hear his personal experiences, it's actually a personal thing. A disciple, when he is hearing Prabhupada, he is coming to know Prabhupada's personal realizations and experiences of that sloka. And that inspires the devotee. We need not have to go through many other books and this and that. You simply focus on increasing your absorption in Prabhupada's teachings. What is the use of reading hundreds of things and not understood some basic points? But whereas somebody has understood some basic point and then he follows the instructions of Guru nicely, is much more advanced. Diverting our attention to too much of content. This is also one disease of this age. This social media, all these things has brought such a this thing. There is a pandemic of content. You go to any channel, you will have so much content. And then these social channels are like that. If you want to be top channel, that means every day you have to put hundreds of things. That is how it is designed. More. Even in Krishna consciousness also there are so many videos, that. You think, oh Prabhu, what is the problem? ये सब कैसी है ना? What is attracting there is not KC. There is a different mechanism which is working behind these social channels. They know your psychology, they know all these things, and you are getting hooked to it. Of course, still you are touching Krishna somehow, but that kind of a random reading will not satisfy. Read systematically. Prabhupada is saying, the only qualification to understand Bhagavatam is you should go through systematically. First chapter, second chapter, third chapter. But in the social media, that's not the case. You hear one quote in first canto, then go to 10th canto, then come back to 5th canto, then 2nd canto. Then what is that you are learning, and what is that? It is not systematic learning of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is a jumping from one subject to another subject erratically. So anyway, the devotees who are fortunate to accept Prabhupada and they know the value of his association, they should properly focus on systematic study and then association, systematic association of Prabhupada's association. So carefully Prabhupada has given these books, spent his energy, time, all his ecstasies are recorded, his emotions, spiritual emotions are recorded. What else one wants? If you want to practice Krishna consciousness, it is not possible unless you see a practical example. And Prabhupada has given that. Acharan Prachar is an Acharya. He has given, he has shown how to practice Krishna consciousness. And then that becomes a very easy thing for us, just by understanding Prabhupada's teachings. So one should give more priority to coming together and glorify Krishna and systematically associate with Prabhupada's teachings. Prabhupada's Vani, take advantage of his association carefully. Then everything that is looking very disturbing to the heart will gradually be subsided. Abhadrani, the agitating, disturbing things in the heart will vanquish by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So one should be very eager to take advantage of the treasure that we have in the form of Prabhupada books and also in the form of Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas, in the form of Bhakta Sanivas, living together with the devotees. This is a big treasure. Living with the Vaishnavas. So these two aspects, if one takes advantage, his life will be very smooth, Krishna consciousness growth will be very easy, and happily he will advance in this life as promised by Prabhupada and and his teachings. Any questions? Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad